Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to start with chapter number 4, that is classes and object. The most important feature of C++ are classes and objects. Their specification is highlighted by the fact that C++ originator gave the name C with classes to the language name initially. In this chapter, it introduces classes, explanation of data hiding, abstraction, encapsulation, and shows how classes implements their features. This class discusses how the classes are defined, its public and private section, and how to create member function and other works with those classes. So let us proceed with class. What are classes? A class is a way to bind the data describing an entity and its associated function together. So in general meaning, we know that class are the representation of group of similar objects. For instance, considering an account having characteristics like account number, type, and balance. So this account number, type, and balance are grouped together and kept inside a name called account. So you can consider account as a class containing number, type, and balance in it. So in simple meaning, a class is to group the data description and its function together. In C++, class makes a data type that is used to create object of its type. So let us see what is the need of the classes to be created. Classes are needed to represent real world entity that not only have data type properties, which is their characteristic, but also have associated operators, which is their behaviors. For instance, ovens cook, accounts accumulated interest, cars move, etc. Now to combine all these properties of real world object, one needed a way out. The structure of C could not provide a halfway help by binding together the data property, but still the operators associated were left out. So a type was developed that could just associate conventional function with other data structure, and also this function to represent the active element of the real world object. Thus, what was needed was that to allow structure to have member functions as well as member data, that is called a class, and that provides a significance to it. Let us see how to declare a class. There are 4 associated attributes with the help of which we can create a class. The first one is data member, second is member function, third program access level, and the fourth one is class tag name. Now what is all this? I will explain one by one and then we'll see a small example. The first one is data member. Data member are the data type property that describes the characteristic of a class. There may be 0 or more data member for any type of the class. The second one is member function. Member function are the set of operations that may be applied to objects of that class. There may be 0 or more member function of a class. They are referred by class interface. The third one is program access level. The program access level that controls access to member from within the program. This access level are private, protected, or public. Depending upon the access level of class member, access to it is allowed or denied. And the fourth one is class tag name. Class tag name that serves as a type specifier for the class using which object of this class type can be created. The class specification takes place in two parts. First one is class definition and second is class method. Let us understand what is class definition. Class definition, which describes the component member, both data member and function of the class. So over here the general form of class definition is class as a keyword, then class name, starting of the block which is curly bracket. Inside it you can define three types of program access level, that is private, public and protected. After declaring private, public and protected, you can define variable and function inside it. So you can consider this as a block. Inside that block you can write variable and function declaration. For each of them you can specify differently. And at the end, semicolon is must. So after completing a class you have to add a semicolon to it. Here semicolon is added to indicate that the class body is over. There are generally two types of member in a class, that is private and public, which are grouped under this private and public sections. The private member can be accessed only within a class and the public member can be accessed from outside the class also. So what is all this? When we'll create a program, after learning all this, when we'll create a program we'll understand it, what all this public and private specifically does. By default, member in the class are private. That is, if no access specifier is provided, then the member is considered to be private. So if we do not write this private or any public specification, then automatically it will consider private as its part. So by default we consider class access specifier, that is private. Now let us refer to the image. This over here is a keyword. So this tells the compiler that the class definition is started. Then salesman, what is written is a class tag name. See, this you can consider as a class tag name. Here you can give any name related to program. Then a block starts. Now here in the example, as you can see, this block, this class contains both the thing, data member and member functions. So these are called data members, or you can say in general we used to say this as a variables, and this member functions we used to say functions. So we can write variables with its data type which is called data member, and member functions are the normal functions which we used to write with its parameters or argument. Here public keyword is specified, which means that the members inside or under this block are considered as a public access specifier, while here there is an absence of access specifier, which means that it automatically consider this part as a private part. Now let us proceed further with the class method definition. The above specification is incomplete. We still have the second part of the class specification to do that. Now we have to provide code for the member function, which is we have defined the functions but there is no body for the function. So for that we have to define the body or the code for the member function. Now it can be defined at two places. First one is outside the class and second is inside. So let us see outside the class how we can define it. When is the member function called defined outside the class? When a member function is defined outside the class definition, then it is considered to be defined outside the class. In this, function definition is similar to the previously defined function. So how previously we used to define the function, it is same as that. In the syntax, as we can see, we have to write return type, then the class name, then this 2 colons we have to add, and then function name we have to specify with its parameter if they are provided. Then below that we have to give a block with its function body. This is how we can define function outside the class. Now let us see how to define it inside the class. Inside definition, inside the class definition. So when a member function is defined inside a class, the function defined is just similar to the function defined you are familiar with. So in the syntax, in the class, if we write the function, how we used to write for the simple function, same way we have to define over here. So function name, and then if there is a parameter we'll mention it, otherwise the parameters would be empty, parenthesis would be empty, and the body we will write inside the class. So that is called an inside definition of a class. Function defined in the class specification are automatically inline function. This last line means that only those member function can be defined inside a class that qualifies for becoming inline function. Do not get confused by what is inside, outside, function definition and all those things. When we will see the program, you will come to know that what I am talking about. But for now you understand the definition and its syntax. So under the topic class method definition, we understood that we can lay out a class definition in two ways, with function defined inside the class definition and function defined outside the class definition. Now the next topic is referencing class member, or we can just say calling of class member. A class specification does not define any object of its type, rather it just defines the property of class. To make use of class specification, the variable of the class type have to be declared. So in general, the format of calling a member function is object name you have to mention, then give a dot, then function name and actual arguments, so or parameters. So as many arguments we have to mention over here. Here small example is given. With this we will get a clear idea. Here I have created a class name ABC. Inside that integer or int x comma y I have declared, so this would be private. Yes, because we have not mentioned any access specifier. Now here I have mentioned public as access specifier, so below that whatever is written would be considered as a public access specifier. Inside that I have mentioned integer z. Then I have declared a function. Now this is an what type of function? Yes, it is an inside definition of a function in a class. So as you can see over here, I have declared a function and written its body inside the class. Okay, then I have written void main. Then over here again I have declared z. Now this will work same as the previous one. Here there is no need of access specifier, so please remember, do not add any public private over here. Then I have now created an object of a class. So ABC is my class name, ABC I have written over here, and an object is created which is A1. Here in the comment also I have written A1 which is an object name is class variable of ABC which is class name. or you can say A1 is an object of class ABC. Clear? Now if I want to call the function add of the class ABC, then I will have to write the object name which is I have created of ABC, which is A1, then give a dot sign or a period sign, and then function name is added, which is used inside a class. Now this function has two parameters which are integer, so I have passed two values with an integer which are integers. So 10 and 15 are integer, I have passed inside it. Now this will first look to its object which is class, okay, then inside this it will find the function name called add, and then these two values would be given to each of this specified number, and then the addition would be performed. So this is how we can call the class members, or it's a referencing of a class member. Now the next point is array within a class. A class can have an array as its member variable. It can be private or public member of the class. So how normally we create a variable of a class, same way we can create an array variable for an class. So as you can see over here, we can write it this way, means how we used to write the variables for array, same way we have to declare that thing inside the class. Let us see a small program covering all this topic. Here I have created a program. First I have declared the header files, which is iostream and conio.h, which you are familiar with. Then I have created a class named item. Inside that block I have created first two private members of the class, which are integer item code and float item price. Here I will write the code and here I will mention the price. Here I have taken three variables, which I will insert three variables in it. You can use n number of them. Here I have mentioned the access specifier, which is public, so this all will be considered as a public one. The first member function. Now here I have given void as a return type and void as its parameter. So here I do not want to return any value, that's why I have written void as its return type, and I will not fetch or will not get any value, that's why I have written void as its parameter. Same for the display. So I do not want any value from void main and will not give any value to that void main, so or that main function. Now here as you can see, this I have written as outside the class definition and this is as the inside class definition. Means inside the class I have declared its body part and this its declaration I have done outside the class. Here class body gets over and then I have written the function or declaration of the function is done outside the class. I have created this program to show you how data member and member functions work. So this is a simple program which will take the item price from the user and would display those. Now how it runs is, now the compiler will first find void main, then it will execute each line of the void main, first clear screen to clear the output screen, then it will come to this line which says item ITM. Now item is a class name, here I have written class name as item, so it will search for it and then it will create an object of that class. So let me write over here object of class. So this is an object created of an class. Now whatever member are there inside the class would be accessed with the object name called ITM, which is this. Clear? Then I have written cout statement to print as it is whatever the data is there, it would be printed as it is. Then I have called an object name with a dot and function. I have called the function over here. So let me write function call. Call of the class. So here it will search for the get value function. So on the top in the class we have declared get value. Now here just the declaration is done. So where is the body? It is outside the class. As you can see over here, void item, which is class name, then 2 colons are given, and then get value. Now I do not want to get any value from the function, so void is written. If there would be any value which is to be received, then that would integer or float, that would be written over here, data type. Here no value is to be taken, so void is written. Then inside it I have written a loop, for loop I have written, which will take 3 values from the user. One by one it will first iterate it, and then it will take the 3 values from the user. Then again it will go, again the output or the compiler will go over here. Then it search for the display function, which is again in the class, which is this, will come over here, and then it will go inside the body. First we have written display function as the first statement, so it would be printed as it is. Then for loop again I have written to print whatever data which is stored by the user inside this array would be printed with the help of cout. So cout is to display the data, and here we have written cin to take the data from the user. Let us run the program and see the output. First we will compile it. No errors. Now let us run it. Okay. Now it is asking us to enter the item code. So I am entering 102. This is random I am entering. It's not a specific thing. Then 121, and its price is 20.5, and last one I will enter 130, and price is 30. So whatever data is entered by the user, at the end it is displayed with the help of display function. So 3 items were entered and 3 items have been displayed. So this is how the class will work. You can create many more programs using this class. So now we will use the class and create the program. So today we end our session over here. In the next session we will learn about scope of class and its members. Till then, revise all the topics that we have done till now, and please do subscribe my channel, like my video, share it and comment if needed. Thank you.